Hey coding buds. So basically in today's GFG POTD we have a problem express as consecutive number sum, and it is an easy kind of problem, and the problem statement is given as given a number n, find whether n can be expressed as sum of two or more consecutive positive numbers. So basically here we have an integer number n, and here we need to express, or here we need to check whether it is having we consider it having the sum of two or more consecutive positive numbers or not. Let's say for example here we have example 1, which is like n is equal to 10. So and the output is like already mentioned here, which is like true. So we can get 10 by adding our value as like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. After adding all those things we are actually getting the value which is like 10, okay, as per the given value. Okay, so if it is like there, or like if we can perform, or if we can make the sum from the consecutive numbers of two or more numbers, and if they are like equals to the given n number, then in that case we have to return true, else we have to return false. Similarly, if I'm talking about the second example, here n is like equal to 8, so that means we have to we like traverse from like 1 to 8, okay, and we need to check after adding any like two or more consecutive numbers we can get 8 or not, okay. So in that case we actually return false, as it we can't able to get the 8 after like summing of consecutive numbers. We are not going to get any value which is like matches to 8, okay. So in that case we don't have to do those things, so in that case it will return false. Similarly, if I'm talking about the third example, which is like 24, so it can be expressed as like while taking the summation of 7 plus 8 plus 9, we actually getting 24, uh, which is like equal to our 24 value. So in that case we have to return true. So these are the constant, and here our expected time complexity is like order of 1, and expected auxiliary space is like also order of 1, okay. And here it is like completed based on mathematicals and algorithms. Okay, so basically in the given problem, here we have to solve this problem with the time complexity of order of 1. So and here also order of 1 as a auxiliary space, that means we don't have to use any extra space here, and this is like we have to solve it by using mathematicals and algorithms. See, if it is like already mentioned here, like we have to do it by using mathematical, so that means we have to follow this mathematical approach, okay. So but here I'm going to also like explain you about the brute force approach. See, uh, we know very well about how we have to take the sum of the consecutive numbers. So in that case what we generally do, we have to traverse, let's say for int I is equal to, here I'm going to start with the value 1, okay, because we don't count 0 as the counting numbers, okay. We have to always start with the 1, okay. So I is like less than n, then I plus plus, and then after that whatever the value actually I'm getting, that means we have to start it from 1, and now we need to simply move to the another number. Let's say int j is equal to I plus 1, and like j is like less than n, and then j plus plus, okay. But before that, here I need to also like create one more variable, which is like we can say that the sum, by which we can able to find the total sum, okay. Or we have to simply initialize it with I, that means the current value, okay. Then after that, here what we'll do, here I can just simply do sum plus equal to z, okay. That means here I'm getting the total current value, okay. At the last we can check it with the given value, which is like n. So here I can say it, if sum is like equal to n, then in that case we have to return true, else we can say that if sum is like greater than n, then also we have to break it, because we don't allow this kind of case, and at the end we have to just simply return false, okay. Let's try to compile and run. So yeah, here compilation is completed, but if I'm going to try to submit this problem, I'm actually getting an error. It is due to because time limit exceed, okay. So here I'm actually getting runtime error. Okay, and your program took more time than expected. Okay, so as the problem already expect to solve this one with the time complexity of order of 1, but here I am solving it with the time complexity of order of n square, as I am using for loop, nested for loops. Okay, so yeah, for that case here it is not the correct way. This is just a brute force approach. Now I'm going to solve it by using optimized way. See, I have already said that these problems can be solved by using these topics like mathematicals and algorithms. So here I've also like open one one article which is already mentioned here. This of the problems which I have just solved right now, this is approximately order of n square, which is in the worst case, which can be too slow for the large values of n. So what is the approach to solve the given problem here? See, here we have to perform mathematical observation. That means here we have to see, or here we have to solve this problem by using mathematical observation, meaning we have to observe the given number n, that means 10, and based on that we need to check like what a positive integers can be expressed as sum of two or more consecutive positive integers if it is a power of 2. I repeat it again, what it is saying, positive integers can be expressed as the sum of two or more consecutive positive integers if it is a power of 2, meaning if it is a power of 2 we don't have to take it. Okay, so in that case what I can do, here we have to simply return, we don't have to take it. Okay, so here we have returned, first of all we have the value n, and we have to take n minus 1 value. If it is like we can say that not equal to 0, then in that case it will return the value. Okay, let's try to compile and run n and n minus 1. Okay, let me try to do again. Let's try to compile and run again. So yeah, here compilation is completed. Let's try to submit it. So yeah, it's submitted. So yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. This is the only approach which we can solve it with the time complexity of order of 1 and by using mathematical observation. And this is the article by which you can get positive integers can be expressed as the sum of two or more consecutive positive integers if it is a power of 2. Okay, like we can say 10 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So yeah, it is considered to be like power of like a positive integers can be expressed as sum of two or more consecutive numbers if it is a power, if it is not a power of 2, not a power of 2. Okay, so if it is like not a power of 2, then we don't have to take it, otherwise we have to take it. Okay, like 8 is a power of 2, so we don't have to take it. 16 is a power of 2, so we don't have to take it. But if I'm talking about 10, which is a given now problem, as well as 24, so in that case, yeah, these are the positive integers and that can be expressed as a sum of two or more consecutive integers, and they are not the power of 2. So in that case, if the values or if the numbers is like not a power of 2, we can able to perform two or more consecutive numbers. Okay, but if it is a power of 2, we can't able to perform those things. Okay, so in that case it is like follow for this case. Okay, so n multiplied n minus 1, which is like not equal to 0. Okay, that means not a multiple, so in that case it will return the consecutive number sum. Okay, so yeah, that's all. Thank you.